Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I am Dewey Bear, joined as always by the lovely, the gracious Rhodey Pie.
I'm not sure about gracious, but I'm definitely here.
Gracious. Vivacious. All right, and of course, back. Welcome back, Happy Kitty. It's been a delight to have you, and so I'm glad to have you again. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard,
you.
Hardy Har Har.
Thank you. I don't know who keeps lying to you and telling you this stuff about me, but thanks for having me back.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, welcome aboard. So, I guess without anything further to do... Oh, also, happy Father's Day to all the fathers who may be watching. And to everyone out there, just happy Father's Day. And let's get started with what have y'all been playing today. So, Happy Kitty, why don't you start us off or this week?
Last time I was on here, I promoted second Portal month. I've kind of been doing that. I've been switching it up a little bit. I've been, to keep myself from burning out of one series in particular, I've been divvying up my different days. So I've done some Portal. I'm trying to get some multiplayer games in to be more interactive with my community. I've been doing a lot of puzzle find games, because I love hidden puzzle games. Mm. And I've also started the Room series. So
yes,
I finally downloaded the Room 4, and I'm working through the Room 1 through 3 to get to 4. And I'm really wishing I had a VR because I want to play Dark Matter so badly. But I'm not dropping $1,000 on it just yet.
How far have you gotten to the first room?
I finished the first room. On yesterday, and I started the Room 2. I think I got 2 chapters in. Mm-hmm. I'm really good at puzzle games, and I've already finished 1 through 3 already. So I kind of remember what I'm doing with those, so I really won't have much of an issue until I reach 4.
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
But, yeah, definitely recommend.
Yeah, awesome. I have not checked out the Room series yet, but I only hear good things about it. Well, okay, there's criticisms to be made for it, but it is overall a good series.
What game doesn't have criticism? Seriously.
Indeed.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what, the only game I've never heard a criticism for? A Short Hike. What is wrong in that game?
It's true.
It's just so well designed. It is short, yeah. It is very short, but
there's a criticism. It's short.
Yeah, I feel like almost any criticism you can make of that game is just that that's just a matter of taste. Like, there's not like a flaw, which is wild to me. That it's hard to think of a flaw in that game. Anyhow, Rhodey, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
You roll the.
Oh, that's right. What played? This one. I'm gonna get it someday. I'm gonna get it. Gaming all day, all night. Rhodey, what have you been playing?
So, I don't know if you remember, was it quite a few months ago we spoke about the game Depania Nocturne, DEPANNEUR Nocturne.
Oh, okay, yeah, Digipen.
Yes.
Right, there we go.
Yes.
Badoo.
I played that. I mean, when we spoke about it, we didn't really have like tons to say about it because we weren't quite sure, like, what the premises of the game and everything like that. And I said, I would love to play something like this because it looks like you're just like going into a shop and like fumbling around and like picking things out and stuff like that, and it's exactly that. So you're it's a rainy night, you're wanting to pick a present for your loved one, for your partner, and you go, the only shop that's open is this strange shop, and you just go through things and you bring them the thing that says, what's this, and they say, oh yeah, this is a haunted turnip. Yeah, no, I found it growing wild here, so do you want me to bag it? Yes please, I'll take that. So you just go around the shop and you're just picking up these random things and stroking the cat as well. There's this cat, you stroke the cat, you look away, you look back, the cat's gone, where's the cat? And it's over there, and you go around, like, and there's like a secret underground room kind of thing that you have to get to, and it's just like it's so great. And I picked out the perfect gift for my partner, I think, and there are other gifts that I want to pick out and see what they say at the end. But overall, I completed it, got all achievements. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a short game. It's delightful. It's quite funny. Definitely pick this one up. I had a lot of fun with it. I also tried one-line colouring, which we spoke about like maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Yes. I said, oh yeah, no, this one would be, it's easy for children and blah 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 blah. It's like there's some really difficult ones on there. I think you have to be. Some of it was like fine. Other parts of it were like. It was just driving me crazy because it looks really simple and everything like that, but you're going, no, wait, no, that's not it, that's not it. I mean, usually it took me about 2 minutes to get each one done, but there was some that took me about, like more than 5 minutes or something like that. I'm not ashamed to admit. I've done like one block of the puzzles. I just need to. And there's several of them, so I kind of like dip in and out when I can, sort of thing. So, and another game I played that we're going to talk about later, but I really got into the demos that were released for the festival. So I'll talk about a few of them. One that we spoke about when we were talking about what we're looking forward to in our 2021 list. Which is Unpacking. I got to play the demo of that because it's like, oh, I like the concept of it, but is it a good game? Is it a good game? So I love this. I really, really liked it. So you're actually, going through. It's the same person, and you're going through kind of like their life changes at each move. You're unpacking their life, and it's just like, oh, this is when they're a kid. Oh, this is when they're going off to college, and you just have to, make sure everything is put in its place and everything. And it's like it's good. It's very satisfying and really nice music, very relaxing. And if you haven't put something in its right place, it will like show up red when you go, no, I'm done. It go, no, you're not done. These 3 objects are not in their right place. So you're like, ooh, okay, I'll put it back properly then. It doesn't have to be exact the right place. You just can't like leave something out, like say just put on the bed or something willy-nilly. So there was that. I played Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective. But yeah, really looking forward to the full release of Unpacking, for sure. Labyrinth City. This was a delight, because I hadn't heard about this prior to it being a demo. I just saw the trailer for it, and I thought, oh, this would be interesting. So it's almost like a Where's Wally, except you were guiding a person through these beautifully designed kind of scenes, and you're not like necessarily looking for people, though it will say, oh, you need to go to this person to get the next part of the story, sort of thing. But you're also trying to get little pieces of clue. You're getting piece of paper clues, trophies and stars, and it's very, even though it's like super crowded and everything, it's very satisfying, and you get little hints of where you need to go with these like purple arrows, because it's almost like it's on rails, because you're moving forward, but then even though you're pressing forward, you're going curving around or something. It's quite nice. I had I'm another one I'm looking forward to. Another one definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
I played Terra Nil. Which is TERRA. And
ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah, this is very interesting kind of. I don't want to say like a city builder, but it's city builder-esque kind of thing, and you're basically turning a wasteland planet into a green one, and you've got to manage. You only have like a certain amount of leaves to put into your resources. So and every time you put something down, it can. Certain things down you can get back leaves. So you've got to kind of like balance everything, and you've got to achieve like a certain amount of oxygen on the planet. You've got to have a certain amount of biodiversity, and it's like, and the demo and the tutorial was very good. It's quite intuitive, without it having to over explain what you've got to do. It's very nice. I really recommend this one, and it's really just very nice to look at as well. Really nice. And the final demo that I played was To the Rescue, and this is one I've had on my wish list for ages, because it's like, oh, you're rescuing little doggies. So To the Rescue.
Yep, I misclicked. To the Rescue. There we go.
So,
there we go.
Yeah. And it's like super cute. And you're rescuing little doggos. I did not like this.
Oh no!
Right. So the inside the buildings are all very nice. And the character designs are really nice and everything like that. Outside looks terrible. It looks like that really needs a lot of work done on it. The controls are absolutely horrendous. I'm sorry. But the absolute worst thing is, when I booted it up and I went to options, it said euthanize or just let go. So yeah, you could be like a kill shelter, and it's just like, look at this game, people. Look at this game. Does this look like you want to be a kill shelter? Do you want to just euthanize all the dogs if you become overwhelmed? It's like, oh my god, people complained about it in the discussions, and so why would you do that? They said, oh, but we want to make it kind of realistic and da 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 da. It's like, and someone said, well, this is from my friend who is a vet who saw your game, and he said, if you want it to be realistic about rescue centres, it would be an absolutely completely depressing game, because like things like that pretty much are, it's awful. So yeah, I think they need to work on what they want to do, how they want to present this game, what kind of mood they want to set, because of how they're presenting it with the cuteness and everything really doesn't.
Yeah, you could have a more like a shelter game, a shelter simulator that has that more kind of grim element, but it wouldn't look like this.
Yeah, no, completely. Yeah, but the tutorial was just really terrible. It was just like almost over-explaining, but it was over-explaining because it had just weird controls. For example, it says, okay, now walk to the computer, and you need to like press this and this key, and it was just like, okay, I walk to the computer, and it says, okay, now that you've done that, and it's like, wait, I've just walked to the computer. You don't need to like. It was just weird. It was just and also if you're putting a lead on a dog, it's like you got to go up to it, and then you've got to press shift, and then you've got to press the left key, the left key on your mouse, and it was just like, Surely there's an easier way to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, and it was too much hand holding, but having shoddy, really bad controls. Just really bad controls. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed.
Well, they can't all be winners.
No.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It sounds like you had a really good time otherwise with all the other games this week. Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone watching in the Twitch channel right now, or definitely get in on the demos that are out right now, because if you have your eye on a game and you wanted to see how it is, boot it up and check it out.
Indeed, absolutely. And
what about you, Dewey?
Me, I've had a lot of personal stuff going on, but I have been continuing Fell Seal. That's basically it. What is up though is I think I want to continue. Oh no, I didn't add it to notes. It is Black. No. There's an RPG that I got from. So there's the Humble Trove. So I'm going through the Humble Trove again because that's where I got a short hike. And I have another game called, let me see, just move the window a little bit. Blackguards, there we go. I didn't remember the name. So, Blackguards, there we go. Alright, so there's this game in there. It's this sort of hex-based RPG by Daedalic Entertainment. And if you subscribe to Humble Monthly, you can get into the Humble Trove, which has like 88 games that are all DRM free. And this is the next one I'm going to check out. Unfortunately, it's an RPG that's about 40 hours long. So, but I will be playing this sometime this next week. Not finishing it, but just starting it. And I'll be giving you my opinions on it, but I am quite interested in this, so I'm looking forward to it. Nice. And it is like a 61% positive right now, but I'll give it a chance. And there is a series, so there's Blackguards 1, there's Blackguards 2, so I might end up having a lot of fun, or being able to avoid an entire series. We shall see. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Fell Seal, I'm getting closer to the end, but new missions keep appearing, and I'm like, okay, all right. I think I know what the final boss is now. I think, but I'm just like, okay, am I gonna kill this boss? And it's gonna be like, oh no, there's this other great evil dark god that is controlling this one. It's like, oh. Needless to say, I've gotten my money worth out of that game already. So, like, okay, you can end it anytime. Give me that satisfying ending anytime now. That said, the storyline that I have done has been really good. Like, one of the villains died, and I actually felt really bad for them. Like, they kind of wrote that character really well, and it's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't save you from yourself. Kind of thing, yeah. Yeah, kind of that feeling. But yeah, that was my week. Next up, we are going to start with some Catchup. Not on fries, we're talking about Catchup games. So, starting off from September, these are games that are released between September 1st and September 2nd in 2020, starting with Bright Paw.
Murder, mystery, puzzles, and cats.
Okay, I'm sold on cats.
Every once in a while, I go through the Steam list and I just type in the general word cats. And this came up for it about, I want to say, 3 months ago, and I instantly wishlisted it. And looking at the puzzles and the way that you do it, it seems really interesting. I love the aesthetic. The cat is absolutely adorable. And I'm looking forward to picking this one up when it next goes on sale. I think it's totally worth the regular price, but I gotta save and consolidate because I have a lot of games that I want to pick up. If I can pick them up on sale, I can get more games.
Yeah. So how it
Nice.
seems to be based as far as the movement, you get all these cards with different movements. So like chess, like different chess pieces telling you how you're supposed to move on the grid. And you basically figure out how to get from one end to the other using what cards you have available, which is a pretty interesting puzzle idea. And yeah, it seems like it's very narrative based, and it just has this really nice, clean 3D aesthetic.
I think another thing about it is you only get so many cards to complete a level as well, which adds to a difficulty challenge to it.
Yeah.
So it's not just a pretty game that, you know, is cute and aesthetic and, you know, has a cool element to it, but it's got a challenge to it, which for me is a big plus, because I don't like easy games, but I don't like hard games either. So a game with a certain amount of challenge, such as this one, seems to be just on that sweet spot.
And from what I can tell, this game doesn't seem to have time constraints, so you get to kind of think out what you're going to do. So it's never... it's a good kind of like, you know what, I just want to relax and chill for a bit and just figure out some puzzles kind of thing. That's what this game seems like.
Yeah, it's and it comes with more than 70 challenging stages, so it's nice.
It's pretty good. 180 hidden collectibles for completionists. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Replayability.
Yeah. And it's £9.99, and it's standing at 89% positive with 39 users.
Yeah. You know what? At with this aesthetic and just how interesting the design is, I don't even particularly care how long it is. I think 79 levels is probably, or 70 some odd levels, is probably going to be equivalent to roughly 10 hours, my guess.
Yeah.
So I think that looks pretty good. Bright Paw by Radical Forge. Next up is Ari and the Secret of the Seasons.
Take control of the seasons and use them to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and discover the beautiful world of Vaudi in this award-winning indie adventure.
Is it just me, or does indie seem like it's now like a genre as opposed to like... Because this is published by Modus Games, so it's not a fully independent production, but I feel like there's now indie publishers, so it's like certain game types are simply not really being done by AAA studios anymore. So it's like, I don't know, that's just a weird thing. Anyhow, this game looks great. The 3D's not bad, and it seems to be also geared for more like a younger audience to play through.
The aesthetic is pretty. Storyline seems pretty stable. I got a sneak peek at this when I was looking at some Modus game bundles, because Modus does a lot of hidden object games. So a lot of my hidden object games are from this publisher, and this was a little different from what they normally publish, so I took a look at it, and it seems pretty intriguing. It's not on the wish list yet, but if I can see a playthrough of it, I would definitely enjoy watching somebody else play it before I decide whether or not I wanted to pick it up.
If it is on your wish list, it is like 75% off right now.
It is. It's a really good price right now.
Yep.
But again, I kind of... It's one of those games that I don't want to jump right into it. I kind of want to see somebody... Not even the entire game, just like the first couple of levels, just to see whether or not it would be something that I would enjoy playing. Because even if it's on sale, I'm the type of person... I'm a bit frugal. I don't want to spend money on a game, even if it's on sale, just to play a few levels and then go... Nah, that's not for me.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. It's like, when I pick up a game, it's like I want to play it all the way through, so I make sure I've got my money's worth, but I also don't want to feel like I've dragged my way through it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems really, really pretty. Seems like it's got a pretty good story element to it. It seems like it'd be something up my alley. I want to see somebody else play it before I play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's standing at 70% positive with 65 user reviews. So it's like, is it? What's the complaint? I think because that's quite a big. There's quite a few people.
A big gap, yeah.
Yeah. Is it just like there are bugs? I mean, I've seen things like there's many bugs, clipping, and also the water level people didn't enjoy as well. So
yeah.
So I did see one negative review where they got it at half price, and they're like, "Yeah, get it when it's even lower than that," because it only took them 7.5 hours to finish it, and the full price is $40.
Yeah. So bad.
Right now, at 75% off is probably a good price to get this game at. And another thing they found was that some of the puzzle logic, it was like, as the review described it, it felt like you had a really flexible DM in a Dungeons and Dragons thing. And it's just like, wait, why did that work? I don't. What? There's just some solutions that didn't make much sense to them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's as you said, 75% off at £8.74. Full price, it's $34.99. It's like there's some things I like about it, the way it looks, but some of it looks not quite polished enough or something. It just doesn't. It's not quite there. I don't know. But yeah, I do like RPGs, but. Yeah, I'm also like I'm very picky about my RPGs now. Because I've played some right stinkers. So yeah.
And of course right now there's just so many RPGs coming out too.
Yeah.
So this seems to be the season of RPGs right now. All right. But yeah, that is in the Secret of the Seasons. Next up, we have Raiders of the Lost Island.
Raiders of the Lost Island is a local co-op party game where up to 4 players compete in looting treasures from a sinking island while building a boat to survive the final wave.
So this is a great way to make your friends hate you in a fun way. I want to say it's kind of got like that Monopoly game hating feel to it with your friends, except you're not going to necessarily kill each other over who gets Park Place. Again, I saw this one before while I was just browsing through some game things because it popped up on games that are relevant to me, which one of them was Ultimate Chicken Horse, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that, but it's got a fun art style. I love the fact that you're competing against each other while also trying to work together so that everybody makes it off with some loot. Overall, I think this would be a great game. A local co-op, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it also has remote play together, which could possibly work into something as well. I'd be interested in picking this game up with a few friends and testing it out. Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun.
With remote play together, just with that, I'm always like, yeah, it'll work if everyone you're playing with is on the same internet provider and like geographically close to each other. Otherwise, like most of these games, I'm like, yeah, only really buy it if you know you'll be at least be able to try it, couch co-op. So, yeah. But I love the idea of having a competitive game that you also need to cooperate for. That's like, there's that. Well, what's that game that's about where you're a ghost and you're dead and you have to find out who the murderer is? There's a board game, and anyhow, it is competitive, but at the end you all have to still cooperate in order to solve the murder. So it's quite a good game. But yeah,
it looks interesting. Yeah, the nighttime scenes though, they look a bit. I don't know, maybe it's my screen or something. They look a bit difficult to find to look at. I don't know. I don't know. It's not lit up enough, at least for me anyway.
Yeah, I noticed
some of the levels look a bit muddy.
It looked a bit nicer when you have it on full screen, but still, I think some of the lighting is a bit off. Yeah. So,
hopefully that's something that can be fixed within the graphics settings.
Yeah, if there's graphics settings, maybe we can turn off bloom, which is awesome when you let me do that.
It is standing at 96% positive with 33 user reviews, and it is £10.29.
Alrighty. And now we are to the meat and potatoes of our show, the release list. So all of the hidden gems that I found, well, me and Rhodey found digging through this very long week of releases. Well, not very long. It seems the E3 rush is gone. And so starting with our first game from Sunday, June 13th, Minute of Islands.
Explore strange and wonderful islands and dark labyrinths below this narrative puzzle platformer. Guide young mechanic Mo on her quest to repair a world on the brink of collapse. The powerful Omni switch at your disposal may not be enough to fix the damage that hides beneath the surface.
I do... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is in that sort of classical Cal art style, but I actually really like... Because I generally do not like the Cal Arts aesthetic. But here, this one has... I don't know, it just kind of... It's a bit toned down. It's like the Cal Arts aesthetic, but just a little bit toned down. It's just like, oh, so now it's like almost picture book. I quite like that. I quite like it. It's just that right, nice balance. Not all like weird mouths and weird faces and eyes and proportions. It looks nice. So I'm very happy about the aesthetic.
Going off of that, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the art that you see from Adventure Time, if you're familiar with that TV series. Yeah. And the puzzle bit, like the walking around and looking through some of the screenshots and puzzles, kind of reminds me of Deponia, which I found was really, really fun. You know, you got to go around, find things, and you bring them back to fix certain areas and stuff like that. Overall, I think this would be a pretty interesting game to pick up and sit down and play. It is heavily story-based. I think it'd be entertaining, and it looks like some of the puzzles are. Again, I'm focusing on puzzles. It seems like some of the puzzles would be make your head scratch, but not in the bad way.
Yeah. It's just challenging enough. I quite like the Omni. It definitely looks like one of those like Japanese horror animes. Like, whereas your character looks like something from Adventure Time. You know, it's like got that nice look to it. But yeah, I really like the detail in this and the scenery, and just you know, it's really nice. And it, although it says puzzle platformer, there doesn't seem to be. It seems to be more puzzle than actual platform.
That is what the one negative review I saw has to talk about, is that there's just the platforming is like one or two jumps. Like, there's really not much in the way of platform in this game at all. It is mostly just puzzles.
So yeah, it's one maybe I could pick up then.
Same.
Yeah, because I'm not a platformer type person at all. But yeah, I think this is probably one I'd put on my wish list. So it's just beautiful looking. I would wait for it to go on a sale. I know the detail and the care that's gone into it is just, you know, I am cheap. It's £19.99 and it is 90% positive with 60 user reviews. I'm not sure how long it is though.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
It looks like it's about 8 hours, judging by the reviews, on average. And interesting, it does have voice. It's narrated by actress Megan Gay, so I think she's the kind of narrator through the whole game. So they do have a voice narration. That's quite cool. But yeah, it is developed by Studio Fizbin, which is a small studio based in Ludwigsburg and Berlin, Germany. Well, they're actually not that small. I was looking them up. They have like, a few dozen developers. But yeah, this is their most recent game. They've also made quite a few others that we might recognize, like the Inner World, and Lost at Sea. So they made a few other games. Say No More. All right. Next up is Spellcaster. From Tuesday, June 15th, is Spellcaster University.
Develop a prestigious university of mages, build rooms, train your students, and fight orcs. Slay the bureaucrats, manage your budget. A director's life is not a quiet one.
Welcome, Godless
Slay the
Weeb.
bureaucrats.
Welcome, Godless Weeb. He was just saying that he's been collecting all the Deponia games, so little aside. But yeah, you got to get around to playing those. I've only heard good things. But yeah, Spellcaster University. I'll admit, I almost didn't put this one on the list, but it was so well reviewed, and it's just, I personally did not much like the aesthetic, but then reading into all the systems and stuff, it does seem like quite an interesting game, actually. So, but my initial impression just wasn't that great. But then the more I looked into it, the more I started to like it. So
I think that's one of the things that have put me off about like putting it on my wish list, because it's just I just don't like the look of it. I just don't like the look of it.
What I find super fascinating is there's the whole, like, simulating the school, but then you can also send some characters on missions, and that's like a sort of like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. Which I thought was
I got
neat.
more of a Fallout Shelter with cards type of feel to it.
Yeah, it definitely resembles Fallout Shelter, yeah.
Mostly because of the academy building part of it. You gotta put all the classes in and get people to participate with them, and then send them out to go do stuff after they learn things. So
yeah,
it's interesting. Otherwise, I enjoyed Fallout Shelter when I played it.
Same, yeah.
So,
same.
I mean, if you look past the aesthetic of the actual game, I think it'd probably be something that you'd be interested in.
And this actually also, you're not just building one academy either. Like, you build the academies at multiple different locations as you kind of go through the game. So I think that's kind of neat that you get to do it once, and then you get to make it slightly better on your next time. And the fact that you get to build it multiple times, it sort of helps you, because a lot of these, simulator games, you get up to a certain point and it's like, well, I've got everything running automatically pretty much. What do I do now? And this one's like, well, you get to go build it again in like a scenario that has additional new challenges. So very good idea to keep people playing.
Yeah, because that's what I always kind of get annoyed with definitely sort of simulation and management games. It's like there's sort of a point where it sort of plateaus, because it's like you just got to make sure everything is kind of maintained and keep things ticking over, and that's it. But you're not actually building anything new anymore. So yeah, it's quite nice. You can, the way they've set it up, I like that. It is 20% off right now at £15.59, and as you said before, there's a lot of positive reviews on this. It's 85% positive overall with 1,249 user reviews, and the more recent ones, it's 79% positive with 209 reviews. So
yeah, so it's been in early access for quite a long time, and it's still mostly positive. The reviews went down a little bit after launch, but it's still doing fairly well. And I like that it has all these sort of cheeky references to Hogwarts, like basically through the entire game. And there's just it just looks fun. I've also been reading from the views that some folks, like, they're giving soft recommends, because this isn't a very difficult. The systems are not very complex in this game. So once you figure it out once, you can probably go like, okay, I know how to beat most of the game, kind of thing. So, but it does have, upwards 50 or more hours of content. So, yep. And right now it is 20% off at $19.99 USD. Okay, another somewhat well-known game at this point due to its early access is Wildermyth.
Wildermyth follows heroes over their whole careers, from their pitchfork days to their powerful primes, and on into old age and memory. It's a party-based procedural storytelling RPG where tactical combat and story decisions will alter your world and reshape your cast of characters.
So this game has done extremely well. It's well over it's got well over 1,000 reviews now, and God, this game is not a fan of the aesthetic. But I can see how this aesthetic might be controversial with some folks. It's like the whole paper aesthetic. Some people love it, and others just not really. But I think it's quite nice. The neat thing about this is made by 2 developers, Nate, who programs, and Annie, who does the illustrations. And they're based out of Austin, Texas, Worldwalker Games.
So some other devs that you might bump into.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So it's pretty cool just how many just small indie developers, because Texas doesn't have a huge gaming industry, but there are a lot of indie devs, and in Austin there are a handful of AAA, but it's mostly just all these little tiny indies all over the place. But yeah, Wildermyth.
It looks interesting, like you said. You know, some people don't like the paper style of graphics, but I'm okay with it. And yeah, it's an interesting premise that you go from their sort of being a farmer pitchfork days to being in their powerful primes, and then on to old age and memory, and then seeing how that shapes the story. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's got that nice continuity.
I thought that the illustration, although it's not a style that I'm particularly fond of, is very clean. Now I've seen a lot of illustration like this where it looked messy and rushed, but and the illustrator, she does a really good job, and it seems to be a very clean, very crisp paper-like adventure, which I could get behind.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that is Worldwalker Games.
20% off right now at £15.59, and as you said, it's down at 96% positive with over 3,000 user reviews. That's standing at 3,616 user reviews, and the recent reviews, again, it's sticking at 96% positive with 1,119 user reviews. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment, because oftentimes, early access games that come out of early access and you see immediate dip in reviews. And this one is held on, so very good. So that's kind of a real credit to the developers. Coming up, our next RPG is Dark Deity.
Command legendary heroes to reshape a land fractured by broken oaths, reckless wars, and secret arcane powers. Claim ancient artifacts and powerful weapons to empower your cast of 30 voiced playable characters as they form bonds and battle their way to become legends.
So this one has one of those games that has 3 different aesthetics. So you've got the character portraits, then you have the menus, and then you have the battle scenes, and then you have the board. So there's like 4 different aesthetics going on in this game at the same time. That all said, all 4 aesthetics do still use similar color palettes, so it does seem kind of coherent, but yeah, it's pretty wild. the sort of artistic shifts.
Oh god, the board! I really hate the way the board looks.
The board UI does not look good. This is a game that's heavily inspired by Fire Emblem, and it's got a lot of different characters, and they've got voices, and of course they have, in the Fire Emblem tradition, they have voiced attacks. So if that's going to annoy you, maybe you listen to a podcast while playing this game. It's like, that stings, or just like random lines every entire attack. It's like, just
That really got. I think he got the point.
Yes, that one. Yeah, I think he got the point. Yes. You saw the same video I did, but exactly. Yeah, and that's this game. I kind of wish they'd used pixel art for like just everywhere. With the art animations, just do kind of an upscale pixel art for the character portraits. Like, use more pixels, but still keep it that pixel art aesthetic. Like you just do it, because this kind of mixing of aesthetics, it sometimes just doesn't work. But, yeah.
I would have to agree with you on that one. I like the portraits, and if they had done the portraits and had just left it at that, and had done the rest of the rest of everything, like the pixels and stuff, I think it would it would mesh better with the different art styles that are going with it. Other than that, it seems like they've put a lot of time and effort into this game, which is probably why they went as deep as they did with the mixing of the art styles.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing looking at the positive reviews that it's got going on as well.
Yeah.
So, and overall, it's, for all of the work they've put into it, even though it's on sale at regular price, it's a decently priced game. Before I looked at the price, when I was looking at this and looking at all the different art styles and the voice acting and stuff that they put into it, I figured it'd be about a $45 game. Yeah. It's $25 at regular price, which almost seems like it's underselling itself.
For it knows its audience, and I think that's actually kind of the good price for it. It is a very long game, though. So, and despite all the crapping I've done on it, it's on my wish list because I'm an RPG addict. I don't like the aesthetic, but the interesting thing is that each of the styles, I like each of the styles by themselves. It's just the fact that it's all combined, and then of course the maps aren't very pretty. So, because you see this. It's odd because the character art is very good, the battle scene arts are very good, but then the map art is the only art that I'm like, yeah, that's kind of bad.
It looks like that was supposed to be like a placeholder, and then they just like went, you know what, ship it. Yeah. It's standing at 81% positive with 547 user reviews. Yes, Godless Move. Oh my god, twinsies.
Yeah, twinsies,
and, 20% off right now. We're at £15.59.
Yeah. Yep, £15.59, and yeah, I do want to check this out once I finish my other RPGs. Okay, next up, our final Tuesday game is Garlic.
You are Garlic, an onion-headed boy, and you want to climb the sacred tower to meet the cyber goddess to seduce her.
So, I started watching the trailer before I read the description. So I read the description in the middle of watching it, and I wish I hadn't, because looking at it, it's like, this seems like a pretty interesting game, pretty neat art style. You know, the main character seems kind of funny, kind of silly and stuff like that. And then I look over and I read it and I go, oh god.
Like, gross.
Yeah, I think it really doesn't take itself much seriously, though, considering just how very bizarre the character design is.
It seems to have some story cutscenes in it. Again, it doesn't take itself very seriously, and you can see that in these cutscenes and in some of the bosses and some of the other characters that it goes up against. Overall, it seems along the art style as Gato Rabata.
Yeah.
That other dog one that was similar in that vein. This one's got a bit more color to it, though. So entertaining, if nothing else.
It's pretty good. It is the humor, the silliness in it. I quite like. but I think the gameplay style graphics I'm not into, but it looks like very well done, very, they've put a lot into it, they've put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, it's a very memeable game for sure.
Yeah.
This is developed by Sylph, and they also made the game Jar Battlers and Dragon Blazers, and I think Dragon Blazers is what they're working on. I can tell by their art style they're using that the developer's very much a fan of the Dragon Ball series. So that's kind of interesting.
It's 20% off right now at £9.11, and it's standing at 87% positive with 55 user reviews. I wonder how long this is. What do you think?
Yeah, looking.
So I'm seeing like just under 6 hours for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's probably 5. There's some that are longer, but I think 5's probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
So, yep. So about 5 hours. $11.99 is a little much for me, but it looks quite cute. So check it out, folks. All right. So that is garlic, and next up. Wait, where did? Oh, there we go. I lost where I was in my notes. Next up is Luna's Fishing Garden.
Luna's Fishing Garden is a short, cozy fishing and building game. Catch fish, trade it in, and create the garden of your dreams by planting new trees, placing water objects, and bringing animals to the archipelago. So, I played this game.
You did?
I did. I played it and completed it. So I'm quite a fan of Worldwalker Games. They did Merchant of the Skies, and the developer is really good with keeping people up to date with what he's working on. He will do a monthly short YouTube of what game he's working on right now and what stage he's at. So basically this was supposed to be just like a very, very even smaller game than it is, and he then got more and more involved with it, and he expanded it, and there was a full story and everything. He paid some writers and everything like that, and got some really nice music for it. So I'm glad he did that, because this was an absolute joy to play. You play this young girl who gets swept up in a storm, and then she's thrown to these archipelagos, and there's these gods that look after the archipelago. You've been transported to the where the gods live, and the keeper of the garden says, "Oh, my garden's ruined. Human, you'll have to help me rebuild it." So you're given quests to almost fetch quests, and you're planting things, and you've got to there is a bit of idling going on, and you're waiting for things to grow, and so you can collect them and everything. And but it's really nice and relaxing. I think only towards the end I had to annoyingly wait a bit longer, because I was waiting for some wood or something like that, and because I was asking for quite a lot. But I really, really liked the story, and I got all the achievements, and it was under 4 hours, so 3.8 hours. So, but yeah, it's really nice.
This seems like it would be a short and relaxing type game. Would you say it falls along that little line there?
Yeah. It's just probably the way I played it is I wanted to get all the things that they requested, and then just say they wanted bananas. It's boom, boom, boom. I'll put lots of bananas in there, boom, 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 instead of trying to make everything look nice. So you can play it you want to set up everything to make everything look nice, or you can want to get through it as fast as possible, I suppose. But it was still very relaxing. Oh, they also have an accessibility mode as well for the fishing, so you can have it like more challenging, like a bit like the Stardew Valley kind of fishing, or you can have it just where you're just pressing one button to bring up the fish. You're pressing it and letting it go when the line becomes too tight, so you're letting it go for a bit and then picking the fish up again, sort of thing. So yeah, it's that's really nice. That's really nice of him to actually implement that.
Yeah, that is really nice. And as soon as I saw the art, I was immediately like, this looks an awful lot like Merchants of the Sky. So, but yeah, it is. But yeah, Cold Wild Games, of course, made Merchants of the Sky and Lazy Galaxy Rebel Story, and Frequent Flyer and Blades of the Righteous. This developer is made up of 2, sometimes 3 devs. The Vladimir is the designer and programmer, and Elena is the artist. So you can really see her fingerprint on both of those games. And occasionally they have Alex.
Vladimir is the one that will do the YouTube updates. He's the one that's the main.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's 10% off right now at £6.29, and it's standing at 93% positive with 232 user reviews. Also, yeah, he's currently working on another Lazy Space game, or Lazy Galaxy game. I don't like the kind of aesthetics for that one.
Yeah, I'm not as fun.
Someone else. One. Yeah. So I do hope he goes back to more like
this sort of fanciful look is great.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also he and Elena, they've described that they basically take 6 to 12 months on each game, because they're mostly just doing smaller games right now. They do eventually want to do a big multi-year project, but for now they're just doing a bunch of different small games to kind of build up their chops. But I mean, they're doing fantastic. So
they really are, and I'm going to look into more of the games that they've done, because this seems absolutely beautiful, and I like that it's got a bit of a relaxing setting to it. So it kind of makes me go, okay, what else have they done? Let's see what else they've done, and let's get excited. And if it's something that if it's something that that they've done that I've liked, I would probably definitely look forward to when they do a multi-year release.
Yep.
I definitely recommend Merchants of the Sky. I played it. It was addicting. It's so addicting. And I wanted them to do a bigger update, but it was like an update to it to expand it even more. But even though like I said, they do shorter games, that one was really I did put a lot of hours into it, so.
Alrighty. And yeah, it is only $7.19. I think this one's fully worth the price. So, next up, Wednesday, June 16th, we have Agent Intercept.
Leap into the driver's seat of an epic narrative of intrigue, betrayal, and unbelievable set pieces. Stop the nefarious criminal organization, Claw, and save the world from total destruction in your slick, souped-up, transforming vehicle.
So yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So when I first saw this, it was interesting. It came across a little bit like James Bond meets Need for Speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's heavily influence from both of those.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style for it, but the art style kind of goes with the narrative that they've got going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, if nothing else. It's interesting.
Yeah, the whole sort of ridiculous Need for Speed. They do grappling hooks with the car and stuff. and it transforms into different vehicles. It's absolutely absurd. But if we can go get some of the gameplay, I think this trailer has more of the pure gameplay. There we go. So you kind of look at the gameplay. It's sort of in an isometric view. It's very action-packed, and it looks like they kind of use different views for different levels just to kind of mix up the challenge. It looks fun. It looks like good old-fashioned arcade fun. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of that polygon kind of style, but yeah, it looks like fantastic action-packed gameplay, and yeah, like you said, like nice arcane.
Yep.
Kind of get arcade. Sorry, not arcane. Oh my god, arcade kind of.
This is not Arcane Studio, no. Speaking of the studio is Pickpock, which is a small studio based out of Wellington, New Zealand. Well, small-ish. So, but yeah.
It's £15.49 and only 4 user reviews so far.
Yep. Okay. Next up is Roguebook.
Embrace the challenge of a rogue-like deck builder with unique mechanics from the developers of Faria and Richard Garfield, creator of Magic the Gathering. Build a team of 2 heroes, unleash powerful combos, and defeat the legends of Roguebook. Is that correct?
Yeah, Faria. Yeah, Faria.
Faria. Okay.
Yeah, that's a free-to-play card builder that you actually put down physical lands. It's quite fun. I've played it, and this one does kind of mix those two, except this is a roguelike, which I'm a roguelike guy. I like roguelikes. I'm not fully sold on the aesthetic. I like the character designs, but that whole like animated, the way it's, I don't like how the technique they use for the animation. But I do like this kind of game, so I might have to check it out. But it is $24.99.
I'm not a fan of Faria. I'm really not. It doesn't pique my interest a whole lot, and I hate the Magic the Gathering. It's with all of the games and the genres that I'd play, you'd think those two would be right up my alley, but it's really not. However, looking at this, I could get behind this game. I think I would enjoy Roguebook. And the fact that I was reading and watching a little bit. You get permadeath. You're stuck in a book. You get permadeath. So if you die, you have to start over. However, you get level ups when you die, so your characters become more powerful. And it is a deck management. The more cards you have, the harder it is to get what you need done, because you have to cycle through all of that. It reminds me a lot of Slay the Spire with that deck management type thing, which I really enjoy. And I'm a fan of this art style. I like the aesthetic. I like the I like the animations that they put in with it. So it's on my wish list as well. So I think I would enjoy this game a lot.
Yep.
This isn't kind of game that I pick up, but I can see where you guys are coming from. Like your interest has been piqued, and then I can see that. Although it's not in a game that I would normally play, but I can definitely see why people like this kind of game. It is 71% positive though, with 314 user reviews, and it's £19.99. So I'm wondering what criticisms people have had for it, because so someone says it has a good spin on Slay the Spire, and certainly the idea has potential. Also, it's certainly a bit more visually aesthetic than similar games in the past have been, but besides the rough edges at certain places, it's day one and there's already paid DLC cards and bosses that you don't get if you bought the game normally, or not too bad on a single occasion. I'm worried about future 4 new cards and 1 boss type paid DLC. And after beating the game once, I don't feel the need to do it again. Whereas in similar games, I gladly try to get to high ascension levels, it doesn't have the same magic for me.
Yeah. The day one DLC, I don't know. I don't mind at all when games add expansions, but I prefer it when it's like, okay, you know, it's been out for a few months, 6 months or something. Yeah, drop some DLC. I'm happy with that, and I'm happy to pay for that. But when it's day one,
if it's DLC that you know, back in the day, like when it was Warcraft 3 or something, and it's like you almost got like a whole new campaign, a massive campaign to play through, then that's kind of worth coughing up for. But if you're doing it on like day one, it's like, hang on a second, surely that should have been part of the main game to begin with. So yeah, I have an issue with that.
Right. So next up is Thursday, June 17th, Summertime Madness.
Load. Prague, July 1945. An artist has made a deal with the devil, and he is now trapped inside one of his canvases. He has to find the way back to the real world, or his soul will be stuck forever in the painting.
So there's like an escape room, kind of, or like, escape room puzzler.
I do like these kind of games. I mean, and this looks visually so like interesting.
It also seems like it's got a slight horror element to it, with some of the bigger creatures lurking in the background and stuff like that. And the premise itself, it's I was reading some of the reviews, and one of them just straight up said, "Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And I look at and I scrolled back up and I watched it again, and it's like, yeah, I can get that feeling from it. So it's one of those where the story gets deeper the further into the game you get, and the fact that it takes place during the end of World War II is a really interesting spin on it as well, especially with a painter who probably does a lot of beautiful paintings. It looks like he does a lot of scenery paintings, and he's just in a dystopian type world.
He's just on a bombed out Prague. And here he is drawing idyllic scenes in a bombed out Prague.
And it's just like, it's one of those that gets the wheels turning probably towards the end, and even after you play the game, it just stop and think about it. So this is wish listing. It seems like a short game, but it seems like a really interesting one too.
Yeah, and of course this has a free demo that you can try before you buy.
Yep.
It's great. I don't know if that's just for the festival. You can the demo of it, or if it's when you can, that's stuck on there forever, because I know after the 22nd a load of the demos you're not able to play, but
play them while you can.
But this is I'm quite interested in this one. I do like those kind of escape rooms, and it seems like a very like interesting story as well. And it's standing at 70% positive with 10 user reviews and 15% off, and it's £8.49. So I'm wondering what issues people have had.
Let me see. Oh, okay. So apparently there's game overs. You can replay from a previous chapter, but the last door puzzle is so obtuse that I'm at a loss to make any sense of it using a hint code. But did not help. Okay,
So it has obtuse puzzles?
Yeah, there's a couple obtuse puzzles, and if you fail a puzzle, it can end in a game over screen. And then you have to like reload from your last save point. So that could be annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm seeing most of the negative reviews. It's about like complaints. Even in some complaining ones, they're like, "Oh, great music, elegant story, nice narration, beautiful environment, the puzzles." So So it has all these like really liked it, but
I mean, honestly, if I'm going to play a puzzle game, it's going to be for the puzzles. And I want the puzzles to challenge me mentally. That is why I buy puzzle games. I want the mental challenge. So, if the puzzles are too easy, I get real bored real fast. I can also understand if the puzzles are obtuse or too hard, but if you buy a puzzle game, expect hard puzzles. Yeah. It's a given.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me wonder to which element they are complaining about the puzzle.
I think it's like there's a problem though if it's like the developer, it only makes sense in the developer's mind. That kind of obtuse, because it's like, what? You know what I mean? Because
I'll have to go deeper into some of the negative reviews and see if they actually pinpoint some of the problems with these puzzles. But if they're just complaining about the puzzles in general, you bought a puzzle game.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
I think the more serious issue is just like the kind of like the sort of random game over screens. Like maybe if it has a checkpoint that's too far away, I could see that being as annoying. But the game is only 3 to 6 hours long, so I don't know how far back that would kick you. Like maybe it'd be some minutes, but they did feel like it disrespected the player's time in some aspects. But I don't know. It's hard to judge because that's walking simulators. You're not moving fast. So
exactly, and it might be the type of puzzles too. You know, it might be the type of puzzle where if you get it wrong, you're expected to die because there's a danger element to it. You know, maybe if you're not finishing the puzzles fast enough, something's going to eat you or something like that.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what the game over screen is for when you fail the puzzle.
There are no jump scares though in this game. It's surreal, but there's no horror. There's no real horror. It's just kind of weird surrealism going on as well. So.
Well, that doesn't mean something's not trying to eat your face.
Yeah. But it is kind of all about...
There's many games out there that aren't horror where something tries to eat your face.
Yeah, it's a story all about escapism in a horrible environment, and maybe you've been escaping too much, kind of thing. So that's kind of a neat moral to the story, a cool premise. That's very neat. Next up is 7 years from now. 7 years from now.
A slice of life story-driven adventure game with a distinctive 3D pixel art. Embark on a journey and accompany Haruto Soraki, a high schooler, in his quest to find the memory he presumably lost in an accident several years ago. So this was like ported from a mobile game, and the mobile game is like got over 1 million downloads. So I and it's a very, from all the reviews that I had read on the App Store, it's a very, very good mystery kind of game.
As far as like distinctive art style, I can think of many games with this exact art style.
Yeah.
But it is well executed. But yeah, there's a lot of games with that art style that I generally skip over, and I skipped this one over, but you ended up bringing it up, and it seems pretty cool if it's got that sort of pedigree.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kissy.
Go ahead. I'm still trying to get a few thoughts in order.
It reminded me of like Killy's Treasure or that kind of developer, and so I actually at first I did think it was by that person, and I was like quite excited about it. But looking into it a bit more, it's like, oh no, it's not that, but it's from all the reviews that I read, it's really enjoyable. So it's one that I maybe want to watch someone play a bit, and then afterwards maybe pick it up. But on the App Store it's free, but there are in-game purchases.
Yep.
So I'm curious what exactly people were purchasing. I have no idea, but This is 20% off right now, and it's £6.39. There are only 3 user reviews. But it says slice of life drama with a distinctive pixel art. Navigate in the town and interact with the townsfolk to progress in the story. Investigate mysterious events. Uncover secrets about the town. Travel in the past to outthink your enemies. Unravel the mystery of your memory loss to find out the real truth.
I've got a feeling this is one of those that's going to have a slight bit of a twist ending.
Yeah.
Which could be fun. And the fact that it's free with paid stuff on mobile, yet it's paid on Steam, makes me think that whatever you were paying for with the mobile, you're automatically going to get with the Steam version. And I think most of that may be like unlocking story chapters or events and stuff like that to help figure out the story of what's going and help you discover those lost memories.
Yeah, that's what would make most sense for monetization on mobile. Because, like, well, if you have a mobile game, and you have to pay for like the first in order to just get in the door, unless you're Nintendo, you're not going to sell anything.
Right.
So having that first prologue be free and then go like, you got to give me money now if you want to find out what happens. Yeah. It's like that's a smart way to do it on mobile. It's actually pretty smart to do on Steam, but you don't have to. People on Steam are willing to pay for their games. Yeah. So.
And the fact that it's only like $7, I think, full price, $10 full price, and you're getting it on sale right now. $10 is a pretty hefty price for a mobile game. But if you're making in-app purchases, you're probably going to pay more than that as well. So it seems like a pretty good deal overall. Yep. If you want to try it mobile on free before you pick it up on Steam, that might be something to try as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that is 7 years from now. Our next game is Super Sunny Island.
A summer-themed retro-style 2D platformer where you fight some robots and evil pirates, playing as Sunny, an adorable and adventurous penguin with a water gun. It's so cute, and there's little ice lollies you can collect.
Yeah, that's really cute.
I thought the character design and the thought of it just in itself was absolutely adorable. A penguin with a water gun. Mm-hmm. that itself is intriguing on its own, but it's interesting. I don't know what it is, but I want to know more, and I kind of want to play it.
And you can get like a little baseball cap for it and some sunglasses. It's so cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's got a nice design. Not a really super unique aesthetic, but it's got, it's very pleasing. It is a very pleasing to the eye, and it's just super duper cute. LightUP I feel like I recognize this dev. Have they made something else? Yeah, they did. They made Wild West Crops, Mages and Treasures, Berry Bunny, Minamichi, Prehistoric Dudes, Super Wild Remake. Oh my gosh, they have so many games. And they're all kind of in this really iconic style, and this is their latest one. Wow. Do they have any upcoming releases announced? Nope. But yeah, this dev has made 11 games so far. LightUP
seems to know what he's doing, and if everything's along a similar art style and gameplay, he knows what people like, because obviously he's still publishing, and obviously they're still selling.
This guy is a solo dev too, and I believe he's from Brazil. Yeah. So I just remembered. I was just like, yep, okay, I recognize this guy. Yeah. Solo dev. Looks really fun. I wonder how long this game is.
It looks like it's about just over 2 hours or something. Yeah. It's quite a short game. Mm-hmm. It says 5 scenarios, travel 5 different scenarios, exploring the levels. Mm-hmm. 5 scenarios, but levels within those scenarios.
Yep. But it's $3.99 with 20% off. It's $3.99, so It's a coffee. It costs a coffee.
It looks like some of the levels are timed as well. So this would probably be good for speedrunning tactics. Although with the amount of levels that I'm seeing on some of these screenshots, I'm wondering if maybe they just posted a review midway through. Because unless the levels are very, very short, a game like this would definitely take me more than 2 hours to complete.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I would go off the review times that's there, especially considering there's only 2 reviews. It might be a longer game. It could be, like I said, it might be a speedrunner type thing. Yeah, you get through it as fast as possible. Otherwise, it seems like a really cute, fun game.
Alrighty.
It's 20% off at £3.19, and there are only, it says 2 reviews, there's 4 reviews altogether, but it's, we don't really have the full picture, unfortunately.
Yep. Okay, but yeah, it is from a dev that we're fairly familiar with. Next up is Mirlo, Above the Sun. I mean, that said, I've not played any of their games yet, but we have talked about them. Next up is Mirlo, Above the Sun. This is a student game from Digipen. If it will load, there we go.
Mirlo's home has been destroyed. All the forest beasts are being kidnapped and exploited for their energy. Join her to save her home and her forest friends in a hack-and-slash adventure. Use Mirlo's attack to push and defeat enemies, jump to avoid hazards, and save all the beasts.
Yep.
I wish universities and institutes like this would do more for their students, would allow them to publish more of their products like this, because it would give them a chance to get feedback and improve on what they want to do. This is a very simple but not simple
I think
the word I'm looking for.
I think I get what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's an action RPG. It seems that the only way to damage enemies is to push them off cliffs or into traps, or like with bosses to cause the bosses to go into traps, etc. At least judging from the gameplay I've seen. Notable criticism I have is the frame rate is really bad. It's pretty inconsistent. I mean, it is a student game, so it's free, but that is something as a dev you're gonna have to learn to make sure your performance is good. But I understand this was probably made under a significant amount of pressure, being a student game. So
I think they said that it was a 9-month project.
Yeah.
That the students had to put together, and for 9 months' work with, I think, maybe 9 to 12 people, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's quite a creative looking world. It's very pretty.
It is, and it's a free game and you're going to get what you pay for. You're getting student work. That's not necessarily bad. From what I can see, they've put a lot of love into this game, and it's something they should be proud of, and I'm probably going to pick it up and give it a playthrough and give it an honest reaction and, criticism. Because I'm sure with most games, even, AAA games, there are stuff that they screw up. But overall, I wish more universities and institutes would allow the publishing of their students' work, just so that they can get a feel of what the procedure behind all of this is, because getting something published isn't easy, and it's not necessarily positive all the time either. And you don't want to, and being somebody in this field, you don't want to do all of this work, never get published, get into a studio or get into a self-publishing thing, and your first game be a flop and you don't know why.
Yeah.
So It's a learning experience, and I hope the people behind this game really take it as that.
If you are interested in if you ever like get into Steam and you basically have no games, well, the Digipen library has 44 student-developed games available, and there's a few other institutes. There's one in Montreal that's not Digipen, and there's another one. There's another European one, but they both have far fewer games. But it's a very cool thing for them to have their students do, is to publish it. I do wish that it would also have like what the studio, like the team, if the team ends up staying together, what that studio was, because this one was developed by Kaiju Bayou. And I am curious, where's this developer gonna go? I'm sure there's credits, and if you go onto like whatever the whale site.
Actually, if you scroll down a bit more under the read more, it actually tells you who was in the program department and who was in the
there we go.
Behind it.
Bingo. So yeah, you got all the developers, so it'd be neat to follow these folks and see where they end up in the industry.
Yeah, this game is 30 minutes long, so they said if you do have 30 minutes spare, just to give it a go.
Yep, 30 minutes long. Okay. Next up, Railroad Ink Challenge.
The critically acclaimed roll and write game that is all about connections. Plan your routes, connect the exits around your board, expand your transportation system, and reach networking nirvana. Play solo to beat your own best scores or challenge players from all over the world.
So this is like Carcassonne, kind of, for roads?
Yeah, roads, I would think.
So this is, let me see. All right, I'm looking at the feature list to try to understand the rules. But this does seem to be like a board game, kind of.
Yeah, the developer has taken their games have taken like board games and brought them to Steam, basically. So this was a board game. So you get a certain amount of cards, and you have to place them on the board to make the railway connections and road connections as well.
Yeah, it looks that looks really neat. I love the art style they went through, where it's kind of like blueprints, so it's like your city planner sort of thing going on. Yeah, it's artistically nice, and it's just it had a good frame rate, so it's a board game. I'd have to play it to really know whether it's nice or not.
We'd have to ask the Radio Tom, because he's very, very knowledgeable about board games, and he's got a massive library. So he would be the one to tell us. So you can always hit up the Radio Tom to let us know what he thinks about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll send this game his way. It's like, hey, check this out. But yeah, it is $6.79 USD and has 5 user reviews. It looks like there's more than 5, but there's 2 negative and 6 positive. So
looks like it's got a lot of replay value. Looking at some of the review hours on here. Considering the fact that you can challenge yourself and you can challenge people from all over the globe who are playing this as well, is a positive in that direction.
Yeah.
It's not really my type of game, but it seems interesting.
So it is. You do have 7 rounds to make as many points as possible. So roll the dice and draw the routes to connect the exits around your board. Expand your network with railways, highways, and stations to collect points, but you will be penalised for any open connections, so plan carefully. Play solo to improve your best score or challenge players from all over the world. Which is nice.
Absolutely, Fluxer. Sometimes that is the case, not being able to tell from the... I think I'm kind of getting this. I'm pretty sure this would be like Carcassonne. It's worth checking out, but yeah, just Railroad Ink Challenge. It's got a fantastic aesthetic. Next up,
50% off right now. It's £5 and 9p.
Yeah. Whoops, that is my wish list. There we go. Next up is Friday, June 18th, Lasagna Boy.
an adventure horror game with a Game Boy aesthetic. Lasagna Boy brings a mix of puzzle, adventure, and platforming, along with some minor shooting elements, all packaged together in a charming yet haunting pixel art style.
Yeah, so this one, it's very much the Game Boy aesthetic. There is also a Lasagna Boy Classic, which is the original version of this game, but the same dev, and it has more of a kind of an older Game Boy, Game Boy aesthetic. This one, it looks quite interesting. It's all, you're basically just, you crashed and the only building nearby is this weird haunted mansion that has a bunch of wild, wacky stuff in it. And
I gotta ask though, what kind of restaurant delivers lasagna?
Oh, I know a few.
As their main dish. I mean, I know there are some pizza places out there that, you know, because of the Italian heritage behind it, they do lasagna as well, but a lasagna pizza delivery guy, that means that that he's gotta be working for some sort of restaurant that focuses mostly on probably different types of lasagna.
You know what?
Why is that not around here?
Yeah, that should be.
We have that over here. There is like a place that's
just a lasagna restaurant. That's fantastic. Just
a lasagna restaurant, and they've got like 20 to 30 different kinds of lasagna.
That sounds fantastic. We have the weirdest thing we have down here is there is a chain of chicken salad restaurants. So it is a restaurant that just does chicken salad. And it's like, that's so strange, but it's just a bunch of different types of chicken salad. I'm like, well, okay, I guess so.
I'm so hungry.
I know, I'm so hungry. Well, thankfully, Lasagna Boy is the last game of the list this week. As I was mentioning, it looks quite nice. It was originally on itch.io, but this new game, the developer decided to make the dive onto Steam. So
something to bring up, they do bring up a mature content description, and I love it. The only mature description in it is, and I quote, "There are cutscenes where John, the main character, our lasagna boy, is decapitated by monsters."
Yep.
It's 15% off right now. It's £4.41. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Game Boy aesthetic, but yeah, I can see this game could be quite fun. I do like the weird kind of like spooky elements that they've added to it.
Okay. Interesting. Well, yeah, that is Lasagna Boy, developed by Trashy, Rascal Studios. I look forward to future games. There's only one review, and this reviewer sounds like they might have played it. Like, they only took 2.2 hours, and I'm pretty sure it's longer than that. But yeah, they used a YouTube guide to get through it. But it looks pretty fun. All right, and with that is our release list. So what's next is what was your best of the week. And so I guess Happy Kitty, are you ready? Do you know what your favorite games this week were?
Oh yes, definitely. Off of the Catchup, it would have to be Bright Paw. Like I said, it was already wishlisted before you even handed it to me. It's something that I'd looked into beforehand, and I look forward to picking it up. Out of our release, I've got 3 favorites. Summertime Madness would be my first. Dark Deity would be my second. And my last one would be Mirlo. I look forward to seeing more from Digipen. I'm going to look into them, see what other stuff they've had their past students publish, and I'm probably going to look into some of my more favorite games and see if I can't find some of the developers when they've moved on from that institute. So it's something to definitely look into, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm quite proud of Digipen. I used to live near it, and there was a certain towards its early years, there was a certain negative connotation with it, as a lot of people graduating from Digipen weren't able to get jobs in the industry. Because, I mean, they had to basically invent all these courses because it's such a new industry. Like, how do you learn something when there's basically not much in the way of books or resources or teachers? Because everyone who is eligible to teach is working. So, so oftentimes they would have like QA testers, like professional QA testers as professors, and it had kind of a weird scenario. But over the years, they've sort of developed that maturity where they figured out what courses work there, and they really are pumping out great devs, and that's good to see, because a lot of companies had kind of given up on looking for people with a gaming degree, like a game development degree, just because they're like, well, in our experience, people with game development degrees are no better, or sometimes even worse, than just high school grads who have a real passion for development and have made their own products, that kind of stuff. But this way with Digipen, how Digipen now does it is they make the full like thesis is you have to make a game, and then that way you graduate with a portfolio, and that's a published game, whether it's fantastic or not, is like just a shoe-in into the industry. So, yep. So I'm quite happy with that. Anyhow, side thing. Sorry, Roadie Pie. What are your favorites of the week?
So, I wasn't this first time. I'm not really. Nothing in the Catchup really caught my eye, fortunately. On the main list though, Minute of Islands was one of them. I thought was like super interesting looking, and I want to know more about it, and give that a go. And of course Luna's Fishing, which I already played through and finished, but I recommend that. That would be my top pick of the week. And let's see, and I'm also interested in 7 years from now.
7 years.
That'll be my last one. I might have a look on the app store, maybe have a little go on that first for free, and then get it on Steam.
Yep. And yeah, those are all great games. I think with me, well, obviously in the Catchup Brightpaw, of course, it's a cat. But in the release list, I think I'm probably going to have to agree with Happy Kitty. Dark Deity is the game I'm most interested in this week, despite how much I eviscerated like its aesthetic, how it's aesthetically done. It is the game that design-wise I'm most interested in, and I can definitely see myself playing. So I'm really excited. But look at this atrocity. It's not good, but this is great. This is great. This is not good, but. I'm very excited to check Dark Deity out. But yeah, if I had to make another pick, it would be Luna's Fishing Garden, just because it's a great dev that just makes beautiful games. So with that is a show. So Happy Kitty, why don't you let our viewers know where they can find you and what you're going to be doing? What's your schedule going on?
Well, you can find me over on twitch.tv/happy__kitty. There's 2 underscores there. You can also know when I go live via Twitter at twitter.com/kittycat1987. I've pretty much got a schedule set out for myself. Mondays is Portal Mondays until we get through Portal, and then we'll move on to something else. Tuesdays is multiplayer games. I'm trying to get friends and community involved and doing a multiplayer, whether it be Jackbox or me loading up FTL and putting users in as people on my spaceship. Wednesdays are kind of a toss-up. I do whatever's on my mind. Usually it's something like Slay the Spire or Monster Train or something like that. we're getting ready to go back into Pathfinder for Thursday nights. We're getting ready to start a new campaign, as well as defeat our boss in Rise of the Rune Lords. And
your character's still alive?
My character is still alive.
Good.
In fact, we are skipping most of book 5. We were halfway through book 5. We're skipping all of book 6, and we're going straight into the boss fight, simply because everybody is bored with everything that is going on, because it's just a repeat of the last 2 books. So we leveled up our characters, and we're getting ready to go into the final fight to see whether or not we win, and then we'll have an epilogue on the survivors. So that should be fun, and then we'll be starting a new homebrew campaign. So a lot of people are looking forward to that. And then Saturdays are just, usually I have those for my hidden objects. I've got a lot of hidden object games, so I've played through a lot of them, so I'm getting through them on screen now. So that should be fun.
You'll have to like give me a list of the ones that you've played, or we should. I don't know if I've got you on my Steam.
Compare the owned games. Yeah,
because I played a lot of hidden object games, so I want to know what your recommendations are and which ones you liked, which ones you didn't like.
Save Rhodey some time.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've played over 100 of them now. So.
Oh jeez. Yeah, you and I are up there. But yeah, that's basically my schedule for now, and this is my summertime schedule. I've got the next 2.5 months off before I go back to work, and I'm hoping to port my summer schedule over to my work schedule so that things stay similar.
Nice.
Alrighty.
And Rhodey, what about you?
And you can find me here pretty much every week. I hope to one day go back to streaming regularly on my own channel, but for now, you can always find me on here. But if you want to follow my own Twitch channel, it's twitch.tv/RhodeyPie.
Yep. And of course, you can find me right here on twitch.tv/DeweyBear. And of course, you can check out our curation page on Steam. store.steampower.com/curator/ that long number. And of course, you can find these uploaded on YouTube at the Steam Release Podcast. Just search that. We're the top result. I was good with the naming. And of course, you can find our Twitter, where we'll be putting all the announcements for when we're going live. And that is at Twitter. It is Podcast Steam. So no spaces or underscores. So, alrighty.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube.
Like and subscribe, and farewell. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.